in this lesson we'll begin refining the last section of our animation. We can start by bringing our range slider all the way to the end, and then the playback start can be around 195. Okay, so we're working with this section here. Now, as far as editing the animation, we can definitely now smooth the interpolation of our global move control that controls the character exiting the scene. So let's show our controls. We'll select the center of gravity control and hit the up arrow about 3 times or so we can get to the character move node. And from there, we'll go to our perspective and graph editor view and simply apply a plateau tangency to this. So if we back up our camera, let's see if we like the speed at which the character is exiting. And it looks like he can come out a little bit faster. So if we took this key on 260, maybe brought it down a few more frames, and then brought it up so that he moves further out, and then adjust our tangency here. And if your tangency is kind of flipping out as you move it down, just set it to flat and then move the tangency down, and that'll correct that. And we could also see about optimizing this key on 255. We may be able to just get away with using weighted tangency here, so we can even get rid of that. So as we look at this, hit play. Alright, he seems to be exiting a little bit too slow here, so we'll go ahead and apply weighted tangency. Select the key, right click, go to curves, weighted tangents, and then we can apply free tangent weights on both of these. Select them both and I'll go to keys and free tangent weight. And then for this one here, it's kind of wonky. We can only see 1/2 of the weight. That may just be fine because we won't add any keys at the end of that. This key on 247, let's go ahead and break its tangency so we could have them kind of ease out and then ease in, or ease out and then really run out very quickly at the end of the animation. So we can select the tangency here, hold shift, middle mouse button, drag, and that's going to allow us to hold a little bit longer here and then quickly run out at the end. And if we have enough time, we may be able to add a little bit of extra comedy by shaking his mustache. So we'll see if that'll work. It may just work, but we wouldn't want to do it too quickly where it would basically take away from the animation. So let's go ahead and add a little bit more time in here before he quickly runs out. Let's see how this looks. Okay. Great, that looks pretty good. Now one issue we have, notice, is that the character moves a little bit too far away, so when he stretches his arm back in, of course that's going to be problematic. So let's look at this. We'll go to our shot camera and just see where the arm or where the character is moving. Alright, so he moves off screen at about 262, and we're going to need to bring that arm over some more so he catches the hat. So what we'll go ahead and do is go back to our perspective camera, and what I like to do at times, just to test out the basically test out the timing and spacing without destroying any keys, is to use mute keys. So let's go ahead and experiment with that. If we go ahead and set a key here on 262 using our enter key tool, so it doesn't shift anything, so we can just preserve what we have. If we now, with this the key prior to selected, okay, the key on frame 247, if we were to now go to keys and go to mute key, or actually not this key, sorry, if we go to 262 and actually mute that key, notice what happens. We get a couple of things. We have this dotted line going from the key we muted and on, so basically we won't be able to see the animation until we get to this key, unless we've muted that too. And also you can get this, you see that we get this type of stepped curve within our function curve 2 that's created. So what we basically can do is mute the last key as well to have the character just stay where he's at. We'll just select that, go to keys, mute key. Notice he's not going to go as far as he did before. Great. So now notice also that the arm animation has been fixed as well. So that's just a way to just, again, test out your animation without deleting any keys at all. And if you like to unmute this, okay, and get rid of this stepped curve that's generated as well, you'll see the change here, you can simply right click and go to unmute selected. The only difference with this is that this is going to mute the entire function curve, whereas with mute key you can just select different keys to mute. So if we were to look at this, hit play, alright, that's much better. Another thing we'll adjust before we move to the next lesson is the timing at which the character goes from his this pose where he's adjusting his hat to where he runs out. Okay, we want this to be a little bit more humorous. So we'll have him pause a little bit longer before he actually runs out. It's almost going to be little to no anticipation as he does start to run, to add to that cartoony snappy effect. So let's go ahead and show our character set. We'll go to frame 230, middle click on, let's say, about 235, and press the S key. So as we look at this, we could even see this from our shot camera. Hide our curves. Let's see if we like the timing here. Hit play. Great. And what would be a good idea too is even to do a play blast. So let's say we go ahead and do one. Here's our result. Great, that timing is much better. So by just adding that little pause there, we kind of get a more comical effect. Great, well, the section is just about finished. A few more things we need to address, of course, is the hat. We need to definitely smooth its interpolation, and we are going to do a little bit more with the arms. We definitely need to fix them and get them moving so that they're just not still as the character runs out. We'll even add a little bit of motion to the upper body, okay, to make them look a little bit more organic. So what we'll do is go ahead and stop the lesson here, and in the next lesson, let's go ahead and address the hat.